Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into the Saturday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. At BettingPros NFL is our handle on Twitter for the BettingPros side of things. This podcast being brought to you by BetMGM. You can get this podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your audio podcasts. And we are approaching our 300th episode of the Daily Juice. Can you believe that? Almost 300 days in, consecutively, every day. We didn't miss a day for anything. We've been here every morning, and, well, it's been a ton of fun. Our Discord channel continues to grow. The audience for the Daily Juice is rolling. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun, and yes, last night was good. Hockey goes 2-0. I moved to 72-52 all so far in 2021, this year, betting on hockey. So we've had a really good run with hockey. I'll have to add it up with the historical for all Daily Juice bets in hockey, but 2021's been very good. Bruins get the money line win. Vegas gets the 4-0 puck line win. Beautiful. I had two player props that I liked a lot. Damian Lillard was one, going over his points, and Nikola Jokic going over on his. Jokic went over his easily, but Lillard didn't play. So I had to go to my third pick. My third pick was Lonzo Ball, coming off an injury on a minutes restriction, and he missed all 6 of his threes that he took. So his points only being 13.5. Yeah, BettingPros cheat sheets had it there. I went with it, but it was a bad bet. So 3-1 night last night, pretty good. To have a winning night, so we've gotten 3 straight days of winning bets. So not bad. We're slowly but surely coming out of that funk that we were in for 4 to 5 days. So things are going well. So here's what's going to happen today. The player props will be happening again. So 2 player props at a quarter unit will be dropped in the Discord channel. So a little bit below me here on the YouTube channel, click on it. You can go and get into the Discord channel. And what am I? I think I'm like 4-3. I think over our last 7 picks for BettingPros NBA props. But overall, let me double check here my record on NBA player props so far. NBA player props since we started doing it, 34-15. Okay, so 34-15 on player props, not bad. I'm not like that with everything. I'm 4-10 with Major League Baseball, but the money line dog bet continues today on a Saturday. So at the time of taping, there's a bunch of games going on right now. I've got 4 wins, 4 dogs won today, at least 4. I need 1 more to win here on the West Coast. If one of those dogs win, it's a flat day. If they all lose, it'll be my first losing day, which still I'd be way up. I'm betting $10 on these dogs, so it'll be a little bit of a loss, but, so be it. So I'm going to do it for Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll come back on Monday, and I'll kind of report where we're at. The parlay yesterday, by the way, was off because the fact that we had one of the games, the Royals game, was canceled for weather. So it was only a 2-legger. If you bet it, it turns into a 2-legger, so it doesn't qualify. So that's how the parlay. It's got to be 3 legs, has to be at least plus 600, and it dropped to down below that. So it didn't qualify for the parlay. So it's still 2-11 now on the Don't Bet Parlays every Friday here on the Daily Juice. So that didn't qualify. Okay, so let me tell you about BetMGM before the picks. I've got 3 picks going in the UFC fights coming up tonight here in Las Vegas, and 2 hockey plays to give you. Plus, we'll go with the NBA player props. So 3 bets, 3 units in play here coming up on a Saturday. Like I said yesterday, we were going to be a little bit more committed. You've got that NBA parlay token, which is a 10% boost token on any NBA parlay if you want to make it. This offer is available for all players. It's there on the BetMGM Sportsbook. You can go through it by using that promo code JUICE100. Must be 2 legs. This offer is available. It gives you a 10% boost for that token whenever you come up with a parlay using BetMGM. Not bad. Minimum 2 legs, 10% bonus on your parlay betting with BetMGM using the promo code JUICE100. All right, let's start with the headline fight for Saturday night tonight. It is an interesting matchup between Robert Whittaker and Kelvin Gastelum. So Kelvin Gastelum is sort of a quick figure. This is supposed to have been Paulo Costa being in this fight against Whittaker. Gastelum steps in here to take over. And look, Whittaker is a big favorite. He's a minus 280 favorite. He was actually $3 plus when this thing first came out. Some money's come in here on Kelvin Gastelum, but this is not a fight I think that Kelvin Gastelum wants to get into. Robert Whittaker has been fighting really well lately, and I really think this is a guy who has a chance. I mean, this fight was supposed to have taken place about 2 years ago. And if this fight had taken place 2 years ago, this would have been the middleweight fight. This would have been the fight. But since then, this whole division is Israel Adesanya's, and everyone's kind of fighting for second place. And maybe Robert Whittaker has a chance to go and take his belt back, and that would be the rematch that the UFC would like to see have happen here. This is a bad matchup, in my opinion, for Kelvin Gastelum. The problem is that Kelvin Gastelum is a tough son of a gun, all right? This dude's really, really hard to stop. Gastelum's never been finished by strikes in 23 fights, okay? This dude he fights. Both these guys have incredible chins. You can hit them with a crowbar, and they're both going to get up and come back for more. I just don't see this fight going, anything less than 5+ rounds, 4+ rounds into the 5th round and beyond, really to the cards, is most likely what's going to happen here. So I'm going to bet this. Robert Whittaker, by decision, is plus 150. I got that here in Vegas. Plus 150 on Robert Whittaker to go to the cards. I think Whittaker just is it's going to be a brutal fight, but I don't think either one of these guys will go to sleep or get tapped. I think we're going 5 rounds here. We're going 5 rounds, and Robert Whittaker will get his hand raised here by decision at plus 150. Now, let's just say that Gastelum is the better man, and Gastelum wins this fight. I think the over is a pretty good way of jumping on this here, and you can take it, go to the distance if you want, depending on the book. The juice is pretty much the same. It's anywhere from minus 130 to go the distance to minus 140 going over 4.5 rounds. I'm just going to lay the minus 140 to go over, and it's kind of like doubling down in a way, but it kind of defends me in case I can't see Whittaker getting stopped by Gastelum. I just can't see this fight going, maybe in the later part of the 5th round, maybe we would see something happen where maybe Whittaker gets knocked out, but I really have a hard time seeing it. So I came back with a half a unit on the over as well. So Whittaker by decision at plus 150 and the over 4.5 rounds at minus 140. Just in case I'm wrong about Whittaker and maybe Gastelum, he gets his hand raised by going to the cards. Some books will offer the fight just goes the distance, and that's it. Like some books will offer that. I don't mind that at all. It's kind of the same bet, right? Some people say fight goes the distance and Whittaker wins. Well, that's factors in here. I just think Whittaker by decision at plus 150, and then over 4.5 rounds at minus 140. Half a unit on both those plays. Co-main event. My guy, Jeremy Stephens. Drakkar Klose is a guy who is supposed to be like the next big thing, right? He's 33 years old, however. Jeremy Stephens is 34 years old. These two dudes, Jeremy Stephens is 28-18. All right? This guy has fought a ton of fighters. He's clean. He's recovered. And I've got a really big soft spot in my heart for the little heathen. One of the first interviews I did with anybody in the UFC was with Jeremy Stephens in studio. And we had an awesome conversation about living in Iowa and growing up in the Midwest and, just he's a Hawkeye fan. And it was he's a really cool guy. And he is a beast. Just a straight up beast. Drakkar Klose has got a lot of people thinking that this is his fight. I don't think so. I think Jeremy Stephens hits really hard. I think Jeremy Stephens is going to be a really, really tough matchup. I think Jeremy Stephens is going to win this fight. I think Jeremy Stephens is the harder puncher of the two guys. And I think Jeremy Stephens just wants it more. I think Jeremy Stephens is trying to resurrect his career. And, Jeremy Stephens is a dude that has incredible power, has had incredible knockouts. Neither one of these guys really appear to be very chinny, so you may go with the over here in this fight. But I'm just not believing that, Klose is 33, Klose is 33, and somehow he's like this up-and-coming guy that it's his moment. I think Jeremy Stevens is clear-eyed. I think this is time for him to get a W and get his hand raised, and for a guy to come back here. He won on the weigh-ins. He made weight, which was huge for Jeremy Stevens. I'm going Jeremy Stevens minus 125 just to win the fight. Half unit, Jeremy Stevens, Little Heathen, gets the victory in the co-main event over Jakar Klaus. So we're going Whitaker by decision, over 4.5 rounds in the main event, and Jeremy Stevens to win the co-main event at minus 125. All half a unit bets going for the UFC event here in Vegas before they head to Jacksonville for the really big event coming up here next Saturday with a full crowd and 3 title fights in Jacksonville. By the way, if you were tuning into this to see if I was going to bet the Ben Askren and Jake Paul fight, you don't know me well enough yet. All right, I am embarrassed that fight's happening. I think Jake Paul probably wins the fight. I think Jake Paul picked the perfect opponent. It's a guy with a name. It's a guy that supposedly is going to bring attention. Supposedly they are already trending towards 1 million buys on that pay-per-view. I will not buy it. I will not watch it. It is a joke. Jake Paul is a joke. It's embarrassing. It's just, he's a 24-year-old idiot who's going to make a lot of money because people want to watch him fight. He's not a real fighter, all right? And he's fighting a guy who is a mixed martial artist. I mean, if he loses, the hope is that Askren whips his ass. Okay, that's the hope, okay? He knocks him in next week, and we never hear about Jake Paul fighting ever again because this nonsense about Conor McGregor and whatnot is so stupid. The whole card is mismatched. It's just a stupid idea. The whole thing is so dumb. It's so typical for us as sports fans that we'll be suckered into any violence. Like we don't appreciate quality. We just want violence. Just give me violence, right? It's like the rough and rowdy thing going on with what happens with Barstool. It's the same thing. It's just rough and rowdy. This is just an expanded version of it. Ben Askren is a wrestler, okay, an Olympic level wrestler. He's not a striker. He doesn't punch people. So he's going to fight a kid who's 24 years old. He's 36 years old. Askren's guarantee is $500,000. That's why he's fighting this thing. So, no, I'm not betting it. No, I won't watch it. I just hope that Jake Paul loses. That's all. I hope that somebody tweets at me and says, hey, Matt, Jake Paul lost. Beautiful. Beautiful. I hope Ben Askren takes his soul out, okay? I hope it's an embarrassing, disgusting loss, and he's drooling all over himself, okay? But it's probably not going to happen. Jake Paul probably wins. He's 12 years younger. He's bigger. He has a much bigger reach advantage. I mean, it's why Ben just took it for the money, clearly. But, I mean, he picked up boxing 12 weeks ago. Are you kidding me? Like, that's... Okay, sorry. Soapbox. Bad move. It's a money fight for Askren, but I think he probably loses just because it's, just basic physics. He's given up weight and a reach advantage and 12 years in age to this kid. Just something's going to give there. So, but no, I'm not betting that. All right, 2 hockey plays to tell you about here. Let's talk about 2 numbers I love. You guys know I love the number 6. Capitals, Flyers, Penguins, Sabres. You already know where I'm going, right? Capitals and the Flyers. The total is 6. It is 6 minus 105. Over's 5-0 in the Capitals' last 5 games. Over is 19-7-2 on 1 day's rest for the Capitals. 3-1-1 when the Capitals are where they are favorites on the road to Philadelphia. For the Flyers, the over is 9-0 in the last 9 games following a win for the Flyers, which is what they had. Over is 5-1 in the last 6 when their opponent scores 2 goals or less in the previous game. The over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between Philadelphia and the Washington Capitals. So far this year, their games have been 7-4, 3-1, 5-3, 5-4, 6-1. Over 6. You guys know I love it because it's a push potential. We're going over 6 goals. Capitals, Flyers at minus 105. And the Penguins and the Sabres, baby. This is our bet here. I think the Sabres might win this game. Pittsburgh's 4-0 against the Sabres. They're 4-0. Sabres have been playing much better of late, right? Sabres have won 2 of the last 3, beat Washington 5-2, beat the Flyers 5-3, lost to Boston 3-2, but they're playing better. They've lost 5-2, 3-0, 5-2, 4-0. I need 2 goals from the Buffalo Sabres, okay? I need 2 goals. Can you give me 2 goals? I'm getting 4 from Pittsburgh, all right? I'm getting 4 from Pittsburgh. I need Buffalo to score 2 goals here. If I get it, the over is going to hit. So far for the Penguins, the over is 5-0 in the last 5 road games for the Pittsburgh Penguins, 5-1 in their last 6 games overall. For Buffalo, the over is 5-1 in the last 6 games overall, and 5-1 in the last 6 games where they're an underdog. We know they're always an underdog. And they are 3-1-1 when the Sabres last 5, allowing 2 goals or less in their previous game. The under actually has been hitting here, historically speaking, between these two teams. But just looking at the way these teams have played and what they've done, 5-2, 3-0, 5-2, 4-0. So 2 games, 2-2 to the over. But I need 2 goals from the Sabres at least. And then Pittsburgh's getting me 3 or 4. I feel very good about Pittsburgh getting me 3 or 4 here. The game's on NBC, by the way. So we're going over 6 goals, Penguins and the Sabres. That is at -110. All right? Those are the bets. Those are the plays coming up here for a Saturday morning's Daily Juice. By the way, for golf, Will Zalatoris is in the 4 golfers we're up against, oh my gosh. Corey Connors starts the day tied for second. He 4 strokes up on Will. M is 1 stroke better than Fitzpatrick and Zalatoris. Fitzpatrick shot a 64 on Friday. They're all looking up at Stuart Sink, who shot 63-63. High. So low scores are out there. So we're not dead. Will made the cut. He's alive at +310 to win that 4-man group. But let's see how Saturday goes on moving day for us with our golf bet going into Sunday. All right, recap. Whitaker by decision, +150. The over in the main event, 4.5 rounds at -140. Jeremy Stevens to win at -125. Over 6 goals, Washington and Philly at -105. And over 6 goals, Buffalo and Pittsburgh at -110. Those are the plays on a Saturday. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Every morning, it's the Daily Juice podcast right here on BettingPros.com, brought to you by BetMGM.